We see JPY averaging about 104 through the end of the year. So we think they'll be very dramatic in what they come out with. We don't see fiscal policy really as an option in Japan because their fiscal policy record has been so terrible.
But isn't that only the only thing that's really going to work here?
It should, in theory, yes, but the Japanese government just has a terrible record of fiscal policy stimulus. Roads to nowhere, new political offices, all this other stuff. So they have to be very transparent. What's missing from this conversation is the structural reform that was the third arrow of Abenomics, right? More transparency, more reform, more workforce participation, all of this stuff. Japan has a demographic problem. This is the oldest, almost the oldest story in economics, right? Old people, as people age, they are not as productive, okay? As people age, their consumption goes down, okay? Japan has to deal with this, and they may have to get right with negative growth.
But we've known that for
a
long time now.
So why are they spending their grandchildren's money to stimulate the economy for a bunch of 60-year-olds? It doesn't make any sense, okay? It doesn't make any sense. So the grandkids of the people who are retiring now and over the next 5 years are going to have to pay for this ridiculous Abenomics plan right now. And they've shown that it's ineffective, they've shown the communication is bad, and they've shown that they don't have the stomach to reform the structural issues that they need to reform.
Hold on, let's backtrack here. No stomach for reform, structural reforms, okay? Fiscal track record awful, which leaves the ball squarely back in the court of the BOJ and Mr. Kuroda, but their track record, recent track record in terms of negative interest rates hasn't been great either. It hasn't worked.
No, negative interest rates is a terrible idea. Okay. So, because it freaks people out, right? Negative interest rates scares people. And they have to find a way to get the private sector to invest. They also have to find a way to get the private sector to raise the level of income for Japanese workers, okay? This 2% inflation rate that Abenomics was supposed to bring about hasn't come, and it's been almost 4 years. Almost 4 years.
The private sector will play ball, though.
Well, the private sector has become addicted to equity markets and share distribution, and so it's the investors in Japan who've benefited. It's not the workers in Japan who benefited, right? So it's the I component, the portfolio investment component of Japanese GDPs that's grown. It's not the consumption component. You saw exports decline by 25% last month. This is shocking. They should be in a state of emergency.